The living world class 11 notes. So the terms of the revision is diversity. Means diversity is large variety of anything. Biodiversity, large variety of organisms. Nomenclature, scientific naming of organisms. Identification, correct description of organisms prior to nomenclature. Classification, grouping of or organisms into categories on the basis of similar and differences. Taxon, concerned biological object or category or classification. Taxonomy, process of classification of organisms. Systematics, branch of biology dealing with taxonomic along with evolutionary relationship between organisms. Species, the meaning of the species is group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities with capacities of sexually reproducing. The learning tip by which we can learn fast. Concentrate on minute points, means that points which we had studied now, and then point on the chapter, keeping very short answer and short answer type questions in mind. Make your mind map by your own, because by making mind map you will get more easier how to learn. So the question which may come in the NEET exams may be, what is living? Objects having characteristic of cellular organization, growth, reproduction, ability of sense, environment and give response, metabolism, etc. The meaning of living is that any cellular organism which may growth, reproduce and to sense environment and response, and also makes metabolism, etc. All organisms grow. As we all know that all the organism grows, increase in mass or number of cells. Characteristics growth means how any organism can grow. There is a cell division or mass, increase in mass. Plant grow throughout life. As we all know, a plant increase to form a tree. It grows throughout the life. Animals grow to certain age, and animals grow to a certain age and height. As we all know that our normal height is 6 feet. So now living objects also grow extensively by accumulation of material on surface. Living objects grow from inside. Growth cannot be considered as defining property of living being, because as we all know that growth cannot be considered as defining property of living being. Friends, so suppose there is a stone and which is getting layer of many dirty things like fungi, monera, protista. There are many kind of kingdoms, and then it gets so thick, suppose so it is also the growth of the stone. So but here is no here stone is not a living organism. So no NB means there are certain example in which mass is decreased during growth. Example, germination tubes. Now reproduction, characteristics of living being to produce progenies, processing features of their own type, means the those characteristics living beings have to reproduce the same as own type. Reproduction is of the sexual or asexual types. There are two, as we all know, there are two types of reproduction. So they can use any type of, suppose fungi reproduce spores, that is come in the sexual reproduction. Organism is planaria, reproduced by generation, on which a fragment of body forms whole organisms. And then fungi, filamentous leaf, protonema of mosses, reproduced by fragmentation also in unicellular organisms. Growth and reproduction are synonymous. First, certain organisms don't reproduce with male worker bees, infertile human couple. Hence, reproduction cannot be considered as defining property of living beings.